Live from the KXLY studios in downtown Spokane, you're waking up with Good Morning Northwest.
And we've also got Michael Lamping here. He's the author of The Witch's Garden, Tales of Horror and Suspense on Idaho's Craig Mountain. Who knew?
He knows.
He does, and we're going to talk to him.
He may smile, I'm not sure.
Oh,
he moved, though. That's good. He's not a corpse. All right, looking a little scary today. All right, it's 7:13. We're back in a moment. Thanks for waking up with Good Morning Northwest Saturday.
And I'm here with first-time author Michael Lamping.
Good morning.
And he's written The Witch's Garden, some scary tales from Idaho's Craig Mountains. Yeah, I wanted to say Craigmont. That's a city in Idaho.
Well, I live in Craigmont, just outside of Craigmont. And I live on Craig Mountain, and I use a lot of the town sites there, Winchester, Ferdinand, Cottonwood. There's an old radar station on Cottonwood Butte. That's one of the main stories in there. Use all local sites. If you go to a map, you can look and see these places. And, of course, the stories are supernatural. They're like having 9 different witnesses witnessing a supernatural disaster, and we're just sort of experiencing the aftershocks of that disaster.
And what were you saying about the Indian shaman? How did all these supernatural disasters
before the
start?
turn of the century, an old Indian shaman was killed outside of Winchester, and when he died, the trees actually wept amber tears. And tears were acidic, and of course it burned the flesh off the cavalry, and they didn't survive. All this was covered up and buried by the government, by the way. That place in Winchester where it occurred has all been filled in, trees cut, you can't find it. But it also released a portal that allowed hellish creatures to start coming into north central Idaho, and especially Craig Mountain, and starting to wreak havoc. And in my first book, these 9 stories sort of lay the setting for the books that follow.
So tell us about where'd you get this your inspiration for these spooky tales?
Well, my first inspiration was when I learned that the O'Brien's Tavern in Nez Perce, Idaho, used to be a mortuary, and they didn't embalm people at the turn of the century. They just buried them with strings tied around their wrists and up through a pipe in the ground. And if the person happened to wake up, they'd pull on the string, and somebody'd hear the bell, and they'd dig down and rescue them.
Yes, but...
of course, what I did, though, is I introduced a witch named Claw.
Yeah.
And that she would sit around and wait at nights for the ringing of the bells, and for her it would be a dinner bell. I also used the pandemic of the Spanish flu of 1918 as a backsetting. This allowed her to sort of prepare her meals. She would dose the people, and they would think that she died. These people died of the Spanish flu, and of course they didn't. And she would sit around, singing with the toads, while waiting for a bell to ring, and that would be her dinner bell. That's the Witch's Garden.
That's how it all starts off, huh?
Oh yeah, that's where it starts off, and then it just gets better from there.
It does.
It goes from somebody that's actually digging down to eat people while they're still alive in a coffin, to our search for fuel, our differences in fuel, like instead of canola or corn.
Sure.
Well, the last story is about a company that goes to Africa and brings back a berry called the African berry, and with the drastic results in the towns of Reuben and Gifford.
Well, these stories are amazing, perfect right before Halloween, and I thank you so much for coming in and sharing your story with us.
Well, I thank you for having me on, and I hope anybody would, if anybody would like to know more about it, you can go to www.michaellamping.com, and that'll direct you to places where you can buy your book. Go to your bookstore and ask for it. Ask for it at your library.
All right.
Have fun with it. It's Halloween.
We'll be right back.